Let's make your job easy.
RAC Derby number 50 didn't quite live up to the hype, but the Eagles faithful will take it every day of the week. The boys recording their second highest ever score against the Dockers and thus find themselves sitting outright second at the completion of round 16. Welcome to this week's episode of Eagle Review, proudly sponsored by Kennards Hire. Get down to a local store or visit online for reliable and affordable gear, kennards.com.au. Ben Roberts
Hello.
Didn't quite anticipate a 91-point victory on Saturday evening. Up 7 percentage points too. That's leapfrog two teams in terms of top 8 percentage. 219 from the Dockers, obviously quite helpful in that regard. That's almost unheard of, scoring more from your behinds than your goals. I think it's their lowest Derby score in general from the history. Swamp Thing on Twitter also said, biggest score disparagement when the scoring shots were 6 or less. Yeah. Quite remarkable, and West Coast taking every opportunity when they surge forward.
Yep, I think both teams, I was going to say our supporters, but both teams would have probably gone in quietly confident that their team could get it done. Eagles fans, when Josh Kennedy was laid out with illness, may have been, ooh, gee, that makes it a little bit harder, the great man not there, but no one probably expected the scoreline to end up how it was, and it was probably a little bit misleading to a degree with the Freo had 60 inside 50s, and as you say, kicked very, very poorly. If they kicked a little bit straighter, the margin wouldn't have been as great. Inside 50 for a goal efficiency was huge, up to 38. We're already third in the comp at 24, but 38 at the weekend. All set up by that second quarter for mine. 8 goals to zip. We had 13 inside 50s, 8 goals to Freo 16 inside 50s, and there you go. That shows you the supply thing. But they kicked 0 goals 5, pulling out in front of the big sticks.
What a difference.
And in that second quarter alone, 4 goals from centre bounce clearances, and you know we can give that. We'll talk about the big fella later, but Nick Nat, everyone wanted to get to see how Nick was going to go with the old 666 and with a bit of space around that centre bounce stoppage. Well, we've kicked 4. The AFL average is 10 points. We've got 24 in a quarter, so that's huge. And if, geez, I'll take that every week if that's going to be the stat for sure. But Nick Nat, can I touch on him now? Or do you want to
go on.
He was very influential for mine. When he's going to feature, I'm going to throw forward. He's going to be in my 3-2-1 later, just to keep you abreast of what's going to happen down the track. 11 contested possessions. We're up 17 clearances for the game, so a lot of that is off the back of Hickey and himself doing a great job in there. And Nick's huge. What Nick can do is, if he doesn't win the tap, which he does a lot of the time, can go down and bullock some blokes out of the way and help the ball go West Coast Eagles' way and score a clearance. But I thought at the opening bounce, Stephen, could this be the last time that we'll see Nick Nat and Sandy squaring off for the opening bounce of a RAC Derby? Your thoughts?
They've had quite a rivalry over the years, and there wouldn't be too many left, if any, Ben Roberts. It was awesome to see.
Drink it in.
Nostalgic at its best. I love this little shot here, going around the team huddle prior to bounce, seeing this massive smile from Nick Nat. That just showed how much the great man is happy to be out there.
Back in it.
Ross Lyon spoke pre-game, a bit of tactics. It was great insight from Fox Footy. Said that want to keep West Coast away from playing keepy-off footy and gain control. Also wanted to bring all the ball to ground when Freo were entering forward 50. That didn't quite come to fruition. 19 intercept grabs from West Coast Eagles really got on top. How's this graphic from Fox Footy? The improvement shown from rounds 1 to 6 compared to 7 to 15. Have a look at some of these. Contested possession, won that by 14 on the night. That's climbed. Very good at locking the ball in. Also the scoring efficiency and scores in total. Now, the contested ball, Benny Roberts, the forwards, they did their job in defensive 50 and forward 50. We won the contested ball count in that sides of the ground. The midfielders provided the spark, got that big score going. How do you rate the 3-2-1? Very difficult one for the voters of Ross Glendenning Ben Allen medal.
Absolutely, and I think they got it right. If that is worth anything, I thought Brad Shepherd was on the night. I thought he was the best player for sure. So I'm going to give 3 votes to Shep. I thought Shuey was very good all night. Particularly has his second quarter 11 disposals, and that was where the Eagles really put the foot down, 8 goals to zip, and 19 contested possessions of his 28, 9 clearances, a lot of inside 50s, so I thought Shuey was number 2, and then I gave Nick Nat number 1 as I forecast earlier.
Who's stiff to miss out then?
Well, there's a couple. I thought Gaffey was influential. Sheed was very good, I thought. Not many people mentioned him, but I thought Sheed was very good, and I thought we must touch on, geez, you could list a lot, but Yowie and the job he did going a lot of the night head-to-head with Fife, I thought he did a very good job in quelling his influence and having won himself.
Kennedy pulling out through illness would shake up everything in terms of any other side, taking your best key forward out. Thought the boys really covered it well. Archie's first game of the season, been emergency countless times.
Yeah.
Great to see him have a crack. He's been playing in the guts at Waffle, was able to just come in seamlessly off a half forward, was very impactful, got involved in a lot of score involvements, contested possession. He was lively.
Keen to take mark of the year. He flew for a couple. But ever since Simo got here, he's preached versatility and guys being able to have a couple of strings to their bow and, a couple of different positions they can play. So Archie's one of those guys that, he's a very good midfielder. He was recruited from the Sandfield when he was just a midfielder and runner-up in the... I think he's at the McGarry medal in the Sandfield. Very good season, so he came across. But he can play, typically at AFL level, he's played a lot of that half-forward, mid sort of role, and he played it really well, kicked a goal. I thought Jared Cameron was very good up forward as well. Obviously kicked 4 goals. Darling kicked 4. The forwards we touched on were very good.
Opportunistic, had 3 goals with 3 kicks.
Yes, 3 goals in about, 5 minutes or so in the second quarter. He's lively. He's an exciting kid, and we'll wait and see on the NAB Rising Star nomination.
A couple of plays that caught our eye here at the review desk. Let's go this first one. Liam Duggan, tremendous recognition. Gives to Gov the longer boot. Could have wheeled round, was on the right side for a left footer, but the distance and penetration in this kick, that's gone 60 to 65 metres. And that extra distance, look, 2 Eagles goal side made all the difference. Well done, Liam Duggan.
One thing I wrote down, a bit's made of it already, but Nick's athleticism was on show a lot. And this one, the pickup, as it's torrential rain, and pickup looks clean as a whistle, and then gets through a bit of traffic and then handballs it quickly out the side and sets up Camo's goal. Magnificent stuff. And yeah, Nick was good, as I said.
Have a look at this inside 50 entry for the Dockers. We see Maston's already got his opponent covered. Reddo didn't pick up his man in this contest. Not to matter. Marston saving Redden's bacon on that occasion and preventing a shot on goal from the Dockers.
One from Jets. Thought this was just... It's easy when you do have the momentum and you've kicked a few. It's very easy to start to, I'll just have a shot, I won't do the... But no, not in this case. Jets sees Marston over the top. Masto just gets the chance to steady a simpler shot on goal and kicks it and continues the roll forward for the Eagles. So one I like from Jets.
I want to touch on this decision. Let's look at this Cameron call. So this kicked one of his goals, and I agree with it, not because it was a free kick that enabled a West Coast shot on goal, but he's got the arms pinned, Benny. He knows that this chicken wing tackle, he's got both of Cameron's arms pinned and slings him. 100% agree. That is a very dangerous tackle, and lucky not to get a concussion on the night.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, I think that's the definition of a dangerous tackle. It's not about the outcome of that incident. It's what could have happened if he'd hit his head with that action, and it could have been. Anything could happen. So I think that's fair enough for it to be a free kick.
Well, Pavs mentioned that Duggan's was worse. I think that was a little bit of a stretch there, but moving right along to the roast of the round, thanks to Kennards Hire. I'm going to kick it all off. Let's have Langdon here. Love this one. Sheps coming across. Probably made the right call not to continue with the kick because Brad Shepherd was all over it. But when you lose the ball and fall on your bum, that's definitely a roast. Let's start with our own video department. We're going to roast our own, Benny. It's a fair roasting session here. Yeah.
No one's immune to the roast.
Who's going to be more offended by that, Schofield or Hearn, you reckon?
Hearn.
Well said.
Blakely, now Nick's taken that many marks. He's got one of everything pretty much. The full set was on offer. He hasn't done a behind the back over the shoulder number, and he almost had it, and Blakely's robbed him of that and the rest of us of that. So I'm going to give Blakely a little roast there. What about crunch from Hickey? Like Troy Wilson steaming out of the forward line back in the 90s, early thousands, crunching Luke Ryan and Oscar Allen left. Picking up the pieces, it must be said, after the steam train comes through, but very nice from Hickey.
While we're mentioning Big Tom, I like this one. Cam McCarthy probably saying, yes, yes, here, give it to me. That should be utilised more often in the AFL. I've fallen for it once in my time.
The old 3-card trick.
Yeah, just called out his name, I reckon there. No other excuse for it. Willie Rioli, one of the best soccer goals of the season at Optus Stadium. Cam McCarthy trying to emulate it, hits the post. Not quite up to Willie's level on that occasion.
This handball from Fife, interesting, made things difficult for Hill, and then bang, Duggan.
I thought Hill did well to get hands on that, Benny.
That's the reward, Duggan, whack. Nicky Winmar burned. Now, the great man, it was a great day for Nicky Winmar, and we should celebrate the fact that that statue is there outside our football ground. But burning the great man with the handshake, not good enough.
Tough timing there from Nicky Dale. Don't ever say the umpires can't change the decision. This is flat out changing it, all for the greater good. I think the right decision was made, but definitely a whistle and a bit of, I wouldn't mind taking that one back, and the umpire did. What about this one? We've got Travis Collier pushing the tackler, Allen, into Ryan, holding the ball, and also injures his opponent. A bit of a double drag and whammy there. But the winner, we've got to give it to one of the commentators, Big Pav. You hate it when you get your little sayings jumbled.
Happens to everyone, but when it happens, roast.
The real test of any season is that June-July period, isn't it, when when the cracks are whipping, you know,
The whips are cracking.
whips are cracking, should I say?
Cracks are whipping.
That's a new one. Adopt it?
Don't think so.
Okay.
Kennards make your job easy.